Podcasting from Brooklyn Bridge Park, Pier number 2. This is the Brooklyn Baritone Podcast. Oh boy. Good morning, everyone. Well, it's usually morning when I'm recording these podcasts or productions, but whenever you choose to join me, morning, afternoon, evening, nighttime, late at night, afternoon, it doesn't matter. I appreciate the likes, the looks, the listens, but of course, I'd appreciate you hitting that subscribe and notification bell on my YouTube channel, Brooklyn Baritone. Of course, do that if you want to. No pressure, though I would enjoy the algorithm going in my favor. For the people who's watching me, and hopefully people who are listening to the audio versions, you might hear some rustling because I have my big furry Eskimo hoodie on right now because it's brick today. It is cold today. But anyways, going forward, capitalism can work way better than it does. Communism can work way better than it does. Socialism can work way better than it does. I know, depending on what part of the world that you've grown up in, some of those words can be just dirty, filthy words that has been taught to you by your culture, just like never to utter. And you will probably face some backlash if you support any one of those three or probably all three of those things. What I mean by that is basically any system can work properly, efficiently for the benefit of everyone involved if everyone does their part and is a good steward. That part of being a good steward is supposed to be implanted in us by our creator. Let's go through the differences. Really quick, abridged and abrupt version. Capitalism basically are all resources made and produced by private entities. Could be companies, could be you. And you manage those resources basically how you see fit. Communism basically is everyone puts into a system their work, their resources, and it is governed and controlled by the state, basically the government, a body of government. Socialism is everyone putting in their resources, their time, whatever it is, managed by everyone as a whole. On paper, upfront, in simplified terms, it sounds fantastic. As said in the military many times, it briefs well. But then when you now apply it to real world standards, it doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Well, because people don't work the way they're supposed to. Let me explain. Hopefully there's no buggers on this. Capitalism can definitely benefit everyone. We're having a tough time with capitalism right now because there is an imbalance. There's been an imbalance for quite some time. The upside, yes, you put in your work, you put in your time, you could reap all of the benefits of your sowing. The problem with that is that there are people who could put in just as much time, as much probably resources, and work hard and see nothing from it, not in comparison to what they should be getting, especially with people who claim to put in the work, but because they have access to certain resources, they are part of a certain ilk of people. There are certain things that are definitely made unavailable from one person on one side of the spectrum to another. And the unfortunate part is the controlling class would usually keep it that way so they and their people stay in that position of power in a sense. Yeah, there are many people who, if they follow certain rules and processes, they will get up in life. But how much time does it happen? Not as much as it should, because of how things are managed, how things are structured. Communism can work as well, where if you have the proper bodies in place of government, of state, to really control things and make things properly equal and benefit everyone. Problem is, once again, the controlling class decides they're going to go left when everyone should be going straight ahead. No, I think we're going to do this. We are in control of resources, of the land, of any profit that's made. We think we're going to go this way. That's going to benefit everyone. Of course, unfortunately, anyone who is part of that controlling class or linked to them will benefit more than the masses. Same thing with socialism. Socialism can also work. But if you have everyone, the controlling class is the community. Everyone has to have the like mindset, the communal mindset, to benefit everyone without trying to put themselves or certain people above others. Unfortunately, all these things fail because of pride, because of lack of humility. Case in point, here in New York City, there are fines. It's illegal to litter, drop trash all over the place. But guess what? New York probably still is definitely one of the dirtiest cities in America. How is that? Litter is illegal, and the litter doesn't get there by itself. Why? Because people don't have humility. People don't do their part for the system to work. If the system was to work, everyone would say, let me hold on to my trash and wait till I get home, or go to one of the many widely available trash receptacles. Okay? Everything has to work. Only way things can work is if everyone does their part for it to work. Now, the problem too, the biggest problem why any of these isms or any other ism that I didn't mention, it doesn't work because people don't have that good steward mindset. We're supposed to have a proper mindset of the kingdom. We're supposed to have that in our hearts from Elohim. That is the one true way for all of us to prosper, when we look beyond ourselves, when we look beyond what we can get, when we all look to empower and better our fellow man, our brothers. When we look to make sure that they have enough to eat, then we look to make sure that their houses or residencies are definitely affordable for everyone. When we look to make sure our streets are clean, when we look to make sure our resources are managed properly. So basically, when we lack what the Father put inside of us, it doesn't matter how nice it is on paper, it's going to fail. We have to have that good steward mindset. We have to have a loyalty to our Creator for anything to work. Like I said, capitalism can work way better than it does. When I hear of, say, a place like Holland, they are much more strict, but guess what? We can see as a whole where our money goes as a whole. When we pay our taxes, goes to certain resources. You're allowed to have your businesses and set up things and have entities to make your own profit. But then as a whole, in a sense, I guess it's a combination of a little bit of communism where they manage the resources properly. Yeah, it's strict, but you can see where your money goes, and people have a much better opportunity to get up in life. But you have to have that royal kingdom mindset that the Father put in us for anything to work. How do we do it? We have to individually choose to do it. You want to clean a street? You could probably choose to start cleaning up your area, or if anything, don't add to the problem. Help to be the solution. That's all I gotta say. If you want to hear or look at any more of my content or check out my merch, go to my website at brooklynbaritone.com. You could also check more of my content on my YouTube channel, Brooklyn Baritone. I'm also found on LinkedIn under Corey Ashley. I also am on Instagram and on Facebook. You can get the audio versions of these podcasts on Google Podcasts, Apple iTunes Podcasts, and Amazon Music under podcasts and other various podcast platforms. I also air on local Brooklyn cable television 4 times a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 12 a.m. and 2 p.m. on Verizon, Optimum, RCN, and Spectrum. Thank you guys for listening. I want you guys to have a blessed week. Walk good. I'm going to get out this cold because it is cold. Even these gloves on, I'm starting to feel it. Anyways, I'm out. Talk to you next week.